So let's go into the process of vertebral subluxation. What is a subluxation? And in order to understand a subluxation, I actually want to take you a little step back as to what subluxations actually interfere with. And basically, it's the purpose of your brain, your spinal nervous system, that innervates your whole body. Every single cell in your body gets information from the spinal nervous system that maintains, organizes your entire body system, whether it's your breathing, your heart, your digestion, your immune system like liver, spleen, reproductive system, kidneys. So, all these systems are under the responsibility of the brain and nervous system telling it what to do. On a deeper level, those systems are made up of tissues and cells. And so on the smallest level, we're going to be talking about cells. Okay? Cells is the smallest thing in your body. You're made up of 1 trillion cells. Okay? And almost 1 billion or more trillion nerve cells feeding into each one of those cells to keep them functioning. So subluxation then is a process where the spine loses its strength, it loses integrity by losing its alignment, and is now interfering with the normal nervous system process of communication. What do I mean by that? Nervous system communication occurs from above down, inside out. Your brain communicates through the spinal cord, from the spinal cord towards all your spinal and tissue cells. So that if the subluxation is disrupting that message, just like static on a phone line, your body health will diminish because the target cells are no longer receiving 100% communication. And what I want to talk to you about a little bit is, well, what are the consequences of that? Basically, I know the picture is very small, but what I want to really bring to your attention is really that concept of that the nervous system innervates every body tissue, every body cell, and therefore makes up whole systems. If a organ system is failing, we often go to a doctor because we're not breathing well, or we're not going to the toilet properly, or who knows, you might have trouble conceiving, or you've got headaches. And basically what that is telling us is that a system is failing. The problem is too often when we go to the doctor's office, the doctor will focus in on that one target system. So you've got reproductive system issues, it must be the problem there. You've got breathing issues, it must be the lungs. You've got heart issues, it must be the heart. The problem is they often fail to look at the overall picture of the human body as an ecosystem and also as a sum of all its parts. And that because the nervous system innervates every cell and tissue and therefore every organ system, if there is miscommunication on a cellular level, then the tissues are going to misfunction. The body system is going to misfunction. The person is going to misfunction. And the overall health of that person along that scale will diminish. Does that make sense? Excellent. What I'd like to bring to your attention really is that cells also vibrate in a certain frequency. Okay? And for certain cells to function, they have their own unique vibrating frequency. Cardiac tissue may, for example, beat at 50 hertz, what means they beat 50 times a second. Lung tissues might beat 1,000 times a second. Brain tissues, 100 times per second. Those figures I've just plotted out there. However, if the brain communication to that heart is compromised, and that cell is now only beating, instead of 50 hertz, is beating 30 hertz, the function of that cell has been compromised. And the health of that organ is compromised. So the truth of the matter is then, these subluxations or spinal misalignments are destroying function on a cellular level and therefore on a global level at the same time. Subluxations then come from the falls you've had in your past, car accidents, work injuries, sporting injuries, birth, giving birth, being born yourself, poor diet, poor exercise habits. The range of subluxations is so vast that The only way we can know to detect the subluxation is by looking at the spine. The reason we look at the spine is because the spine is the closest thing we can tell on how it's affecting your nervous system. Proper spinal function means that there is very limited stress on your spinal nervous system. Research a long time ago now showed that the weight of just a 5-cent coin on a spinal nerve can take as much as 60% of that nerve function and just gone. It no longer is existent. And so if a cell is only receiving what's left over, 40%, the vibration capacity of that cell will be compromised and the health is compromised. And so proper spinal alignment is our way of determining the stress on the nervous system, and through that really giving you back that possibility of optimal health. Most patients that come to our office will be in one of the 4 stages of spinal misalignment, which means either their spine has lost alignment but is not degenerated, the spine has lost alignment and because of long-term loss of alignment is now degenerating, and by long-term I'm actually only talking about 2 weeks. It takes 2 weeks for a spine to start actually deteriorating. If that's maintained for years, months, decades, it doesn't matter. The spine will continuously degenerate further and further and further because that's its natural process, because the stability of its optimal alignment has been taken away through the falls and lifestyle habits that we have, which chiropractors actually call subluxation.